Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of Banter Blitz. I'm back to Hamburg, Germany in our studio, so we can use the green screen to full effect and pretend it's a white wall or heaven behind me. I'm only doing this Banter Blitz show for 3 reasons. Number 1, to talk about NBA Finals. That's all I'm really here for. Number 2, to plug my new video series. Jan's, whatever it's called, Jan's Black Repertoire against D4, part 4. It's out, literally, this very minute. Probably not literally, but it did appear today, the 1st of June of 2017. It's covering all the nonsense like the London system, the Trompovsky, the Veresov, like D4, E3 stuff. Whatever your annoying opponents might throw at you, that is not mainliney. I covered it in the video series. I expect all of you to, skip the NBA Finals and watch chess videos instead. Of course, I'm not gonna do that. I'm psyched after the very boring playoffs because we knew we were gonna get Golden State against Cavs. Either way, that finally we got action. I'm a well-known LeBron hater, even though I feel hater is too strong a word, especially with all the insanity that's happening to him with people spraying stuff on his front door. Like hater, yeah, it's a dumb word. But I enjoy rooting against LeBron's teams watching basketball normally. And I'm a hypocrite because I had 0 problems with Durant joining the Warriors. Well, of course, I thought building the super team in Miami was the biggest sports crime ever committed. So, long story short, I'll root for the Golden State Warriors, which is kind of an easy thing to do because they're arguably the greatest team ever. Curry's healthy, Durant is healthy. Not so sure about Iguodala, but I don't think his health matters all that much, as long as he can make any open 3-pointers. So I picked the Warriors to win in 6 games, which is hatching a bit. I'm rooting for a sweep, but I don't think it's going to happen. Cleveland is just too good. But I'm just psyched that it will start. Speaking of psyched that it will start, we are here to play Blitz games against premium members of Chess24, 500 Blitz games. And of course, that is reason number 3 why I'm doing this show. I can never get enough of crushing all of you. And should I not crush one of you, I'll be very sad, very upset. My mood, which is good so far. Sun is shining in Hamburg. I had a great week in Mallorca, looking at some chess and hanging out with my old friend Paco Vallejo. So I'm in a good mood, but as I said, that can change any moment. So to make sure as I possibly can, that's not going to change yet. Let's play the lowest rated opponent I could possibly find, and that is number 717296. I mean, 0 disrespect, from the Russias. D4 tends to be a good move, grabbing space in the center. What's that number stand for? Is that your phone number? Would you have your phone number as your username? And I will practice what I preach against and play the London system against 717296. If I get crushed in this one, I'll be very sad. D6 is a decent move. I recommended D5, but D6 intending knight BD7 is absolutely playable. I believe most of these London guys, they're quite willing, whenever black doesn't go D5, to switch to setups with knight C3, E4, and make this some sort of Pirz. And here we go. Of course, the bishop is not really ideal on F4 in a Pirz, but if you can put it to H6 really quickly, then it doesn't matter if it came from E3, F4, or G5. Therefore, Queen D2, intending a quick bishop H6, is a logical way to play this. E5 looks a bit aggressive. Can't I take that pawn? 717296 tells me I'm so nervous, Jan. And it tells E5 too risky. Let's hope Kevin Durant is not going to be as nervous in his first finals appearance since, when was it? 2000? I don't even know, 12? I think 2012. When he was just a 23-year-old puppy. Knight FD7, but I can keep grabbing pawns. And 717296. If there's one thing you know about me, it should be my love for pawns. Yeah, this looks like trouble. E5 was a bit premature. Hard to give good advice. C6 is, yeah, given the circumstances, I think a decent move at least. It gives him a chance to castle quickly. Me having grabbed 2 pawns, I have no other goals in life. I will just get some pieces out. See what happens. But where to c4? Nah, that encourages b5, b4 counterplay. I don't know. Let's try to checkmate. 717-296. Let me Google 717-296 if that is code for something. Never know. Patent US 717-296. Micrometer calipers? What are calipers? 717-296 print preview. Modernized C++ JS communication. And JS, as we all know, stands for Jadakiss. That's JavaScript. I lied. Rook e8, decent move, but I'm not too scared. I'm a little scared, but I'm very full of myself since I have my 2 extra pawns of allowing bishop takes c3, followed by rook takes e4. Knight e5, no particular threat, so I'll take here. And now I'll go back to my cruel and simplistic checkmating plans. Just gonna have to figure out how to get the job done. After bishop e5, which I'm expecting, I will take, because getting rid of this bishop normally helps you. Delivering the checkmates. Rook takes e5, and then what? Queen h6 threatens mate here, but queen f6 still kind of stops me. Queen d4 is also very tempting. Queen f6, f4. I don't know. I really don't want to allow this queen f6 business. Like, my position is kind of winning after f4 anyway, but I'm not happy. Maybe there's no checkmate yet. I will curb my enthusiasm and wait a bit with the checkmate. With a heavy heart. One day it's gonna come. Bishop g4. That did stop checkmate, but once again, paying a heavy price. Even though, he resigns. How am I gonna checkmate you if you resign? Sorry, 717-296. Yeah, the turning point, or from where it went downhill as early as e5. You should prepare. Go knight c6, threatening e5, or go castles first. e5 was a little early. Okay, I will play another game. But who shall I play this time around? That is the eternal question. Maybe Harry number 8. Probably his real name is Harry, or he sympathizes with Harry the H-pawn. And he thought, since there's 8 pawns on the board, Harry should be pawn number 8. Especially if you're like, where do they write from right to left? In Hebrew, I would guess. Also, if you're white, if on the white side of the board, then I'm not making sense. But since this is A, then H would be number 8 if you turned the letters around. Anyway, I should probably make a move instead of weighing this very important question, because another less likely explanation is that Harry number 8 is just his real name. I always wonder, like with Prince Harry, what's his real name? Is his real name Harold? Or is his name just Harry? Oh, Harry number 8 plays the Belgrade Gambit. And here we see another flaw in my arsenal, because I know that knight b4 is the best move here and that black is supposed to be better, but I never bothered to look at it, because really, you only live once. Why spend time on the Belgrade Gambit when I already know that bishop e7 equalizes? But it's a bit of laziness. One day I'm gonna have to look at knight b4, which I know the computer says black is better. So why not be better with black after 5 moves, if you have the chance? e5? What are you doing? Is this a mouse slip? Did you pre-move e takes d5? I don't understand what's going on. I can take your knight. I'm confused. You just gave me a knight for nothing. Don't act like this is all part of the plan. And Harry number 8 is a 2150 player, so he knows this is not what he's supposed to do. I'm very confused and happy, because I like being a piece up. But mainly confused. Confused happiness. Is there a word for that? It's like reverse anxiety, because I'm very relaxed and not anxious at all about this position. But still very confused. Dazed and confused, you might say. It's gonna be hard to bungle this. But I shall try. Just so I don't have to think about bishop takes h7 anymore. I'm really intrigued by this game, because I have a feeling Harry doesn't know that he's a piece down. I have a feeling he's something misclicked in his brain, and he thinks this is a normal position. And sooner or later, when the position simplifies, he's going to realize that he's a piece down, and he's going to be very, very confused about it. Just as I've been very confused about this whole game. I'm also pawn up, which I do not plan to give back. So, things are looking up. Things are looking up. Is that an expression that makes any sense? I think you say that, but I don't get it. Let's not overthink this. You know, I've probably underthought this, if anything. I missed g3, for example, after which I will... I was gonna retreat. Now, however, I'm gonna grab a pawn. Give me that pawn. So far, the effect of my extra piece has not really been felt. The good thing about having an extra piece is normally you can attack stuff twice, and they can only defend it once. Which, so far, I have not bothered to do. But I might at some point. Let's bring some more of my troops into the game. It says my opponent disconnected. I have 29 seconds to win. The excitement. Maybe he realized he was a piece down, and he thought something's fishy here. I'm gonna have to restart my internet connection to see if I get my piece back by doing that. I do not know, but there is still a countdown running, which is not as exciting as you would think. 7 seconds to win. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Jan wins. Let's play another game. As usual, my criteria for picking are a random mess of never played this dude before, really want to crush him, or I see this dude around forever, haven't played him forever, or let me just click on something. That's more or less the criteria. I know. And no, I'm not planning to change those. What about Simpo 137? Let's hope he's a simpleton. He plays knight f6, and since today is Pluck My Series against Sidelines Day, I will play all these sidelines, Trompovsky time, in this one. g6 is a move I don't particularly like, because it gives white a very easy setup. You take, then you go c4, knight c3, e3, g3, bishop g2, and you try to control the d5 square. There's a big difference with the line that I like. playing d5, because there it's much harder for white to claim a stake in the center. Well, here, you know, I'm gonna keep a grip on that square. And very hard for black to play this position, in my not very humble opinion. Knight c6. Yeah, the white position is so easy to play. Just get the pieces out. Then, I don't know, play rook b1, b4, b5. Make something happen. Well, the black double pawn is really felt here. Knight a5. What's that all about? At least it does stop me. I think that might be a good move. It does stop me from going b4, as I just mentioned. I could play queen a4, but then after c6 it's not clear who's more misplaced. The queen or the thing. I think the word I'm looking for is pawn. So I'll go queen d3. No, the word I was looking for is knight on a5. Sorry. It's like my mom always told me. Think before you speak. I haven't been very good at that recently because I'm still not comfortable with silence. I just feel the need to talk nonsense non-stop in these banter blitzes. And it makes it harder to make any sense. So since we last spoke, I finished my book, Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation, which was interesting. It weirded me out a little bit. Like, it's sort of, I guess, science fiction, but not really science fiction. And a lot of very detailed explanation of some slightly altered nature. And I can't picture any of those things. Probably because I'm not very outdoorsy. But I'm reading the pages, but there's no pictures in my mind. Which... This is philosopher Jan. I think might be a problem with the spirit of the times. I'm not really used to reading books and using my imagination to picture what's on the sites anymore. Because I'm so used to whatever. Reading stuff on the internet with beautiful pictures or watching TV. Or, yeah, you know what we're all doing. Doing nothing. That I find it much harder when I read a book with zero information to go on, especially if the stuff that's described is a little alien to me, to make any sense of it. And I have a feeling that used to be different. When I was a kid, reading my Karl May books, I could picture those landscapes. Now, not able to do it anymore. Anyway, it's a good book, which, yeah, did not really give me what I expected from it, but took me to some weird places. And yeah, I guess it's a very psychological thing. I don't know. I didn't really understand it, that's what I'm trying to say, but I enjoyed reading it. Even though I was disappointed too that I didn't do what I wanted to do. Yeah, I should have my own book review podcast, I know. And as for the position, I'm better. Because pressure on this long diagonal. Knight can jump to d5. I can, at some point, get my pawn chain rolling. But it's not really over yet, of course. I'm not material up or anything. I think I'll spend a move, even though he wants to go b6 anyway, right? Maybe I don't have to spend that move. I was gonna say queen a3 to provoke b6. But since his next move will probably be b6, either way, that feels a little silly. Can I do this? I'm not sure. This might be a very stupid decision. But I felt the urge to do something. There's a question in the chat. If Norway Chess will be a premium only show, as far as I know, it will be. Gotta pay the bills. With Peter Svidler and myself will be commenting Chess 24 on Chess 24. And I'm looking forward to it. I haven't seen the Svid monster for a while. He's gonna, I don't know when he's arriving, like on Saturday, the 3rd. So I'll bother him with all my NBA talk and absolutely ignore everything he has to say about cricket. And yeah, I hope it's gonna be a good show. It will be a fun tournament to talk about for sure. Haven't done live commentary for a while. So yeah, I'm thrilled It always sounds so disingenuine. See, I can't even say the word. Never sounds very genuine when I say I'm thrilled about something. But that's because I'm a robot. I don't have any emotions. So it's hard to portray those. But I am looking forward to know which is. What else are we talking about in the chat? If you give Jan $100,000, he will give private coaching to anyone. Is it 100,000 or a million? I can't count all the zeros. But yeah, we all have our price. I don't give a lot of private coaching because I'm very busy, like hanging out in Mallorca, doing nothing and stuff. But currently I only have one student, like a very talented kid from Hamburg, who I don't see that often either. But yeah, I'm not completely opposed to the idea. Yeah, I'm a big salesman. I should also make some move. Is this the time for Queen A3? Nah, I'll stick with my first instinct and go B6. I'm not sure my first instinct is so great because after D takes C5, I'm not sure how much better I am. My point was if he goes C6, which looks natural, then I want a Queen A3 and feast on that A5 pawn. But DC5, just trying to exchange everything. Black is probably slightly worse, but it didn't look that bad. Well, this I thought was quite bad for black. If he goes Rook A8, then D5 will blow the position open. After DC, I will pick up the A5 pawn and try to do bad things to him. So things are looking up for me against Simpo 137. He gives me the pawn. Nothing makes me happier than people giving me pawns. I'm a bit tempted to try to trap my own queen by going Queen A7 and then push my A pawn, but it looks like a dumb thing to do. So instead I played quiet and methodically. Just get the queen out of the way. Play A5, bishop F1, A6, push the B pawn, and somehow win. No, it's gonna take more time to get bishop F1 in, which is annoying. Nah, you know what? I feel like I have enough going here that I can take on A6. F4 just so he can't bother me by going F4 himself. Alright, I'm done taking precautions on the king side. Now is the time. Okay, some more precautions. But soon is the time. Here we go. A lot of aggression from Simpo, but he's a bit low on the clock. So I understand he has to try to checkmate me within the very few seconds that remain. But he wasn't able to do it, even though I applaud his creativity. And here after F4, okay. I'm not getting checkmated, but I would have to be a little careful after Queen G4. Anyway, good game. Let's play another one. But who? Let's play. I clicked on. I think I misclicked, but I'll play whoever I clicked on. Oh, I clicked on Blitz Enemy. Mr. Blitz Enemy. I don't know. Wouldn't it be nicer to be a Blitz friend? All this hostility in your username. By the way, it always confused me that hostility is so close to hospitality, which as far as I understand are different things. Why wouldn't these words be more separate? more separate. Looks like Blitz enemy is not with us. I will count till 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 9, 0, 2, 1, 0. And then abort. I'll play Poochie instead. Poochie the dog. I'm very familiar with Poochie the dog. Even though he didn't last long on Itchy and Scratchy, as far as I remember. D4 he goes D6. When I can't stick to my sidelines policy really, I will play E4 and happily transpose to whatever Poochie wants to do. The Pirts, the modern, the I don't know what. Against G6, I've done many things. Knight C3, Bishop G5, Knight C3, Bishop E3, C4, all kinds of things. This game, I'll play C4, Knight F3. Let's see what Poochie wants to do. He wants to go Knight BD7. This is a system I am familiar with. If he goes E5 now, Bishop E2, you can either transpose to some version of the King's Indian by going Knight Gf6 or play Knight E7, when I will bite and play, arguably, the most challenging move H4, even though I think castles is not a bad move here either, contrary to popular belief. But H4, I think, is what I'm supposed to do here. Is it? I think so. He goes H6 when, once again, not quite sure what theory recommends, but H5 he would meet with G5. So to my mind it's more sensible to go Bishop E3. If the castle's Queen D2, he has to lose a move on defending here. It's already kind of tempting to go H5 and sacrifice, but not really my style, as you're probably aware. So I'll just spend a move on castles. F5 normally is quite risky in these positions because it exposes the black king further than H5 could really ask some questions. Also, if after F5 you have nothing direct, it's not horrible for white normally to play G3. Just stop F4, keep the tension, or go DE, DE, G3. I think that's more like it. People are explaining me stuff about hostility and hospitality. Hostes in Latin means possibly hostile, strangers as well as guests, I believe. That's weird. Aren't hosts the opposites from guests? Like people hosting guests? All this word stuff is a mystery to me. He goes A6, bit slow. I wish I was more of an attacking player, then I could go H5 and checkmate him. But I'm not. I'll take here, because I'm more of a pawn grabber. After Knight E5, Bishop E5, I can take on H6. After DE5, positionally it's normally risky to go DE5 with white here, because black controls the D4 square, which I can't cover with my pawn, while the D5 square can be covered by C6. But here circumstances are kind of special in that I increase my lead in development and my dominance by going for this, and it's gonna be hard for black to do anything, or at least that's what I hope. I'm looking for tactics but can't really see them, so I'll spend a move getting my king out of the way. I understand I should do something one day, some tactics, some Knight G5 or some H5 followed by Bishop takes G5. Just can't talk myself into it. That's often a problem I have, and this is not meant to sound arrogant. But I often feel like when I'm playing against a weaker opponent on paper, the only way I could lose the game is if I sacrifice something and it doesn't work, like some long-term sacrifice, H5, G5, Bishop takes G5. Well, if I keep making random moves, I should normally win, which might be correct practically, but I understand it's not the sexiest way to play. And you also develop bad habits, because I tend to shy away from sacrificing pieces even when I feel it's correct. And yeah, this game so far has been no exception. One day, I will muster the courage to go H5, G5 and somehow take it. Let's see what Poochie can come up with. His position is bad. He's very passive. And at the moment I control the d4 square. So yeah, he plays b6, which I'm sure is not what he was dreaming of. And you know what? I'll bite and do what I just said. Would be the only way for me to lose this game. Sacrifice material. He has to go g5. And he will now have kind of a tempting choice between knight g5 and bishop g5. Let's do it. f6 looks forced to me. Knight f6, I can just win material back instantly. Or at least I think I can. I haven't really thought about how, but it looks like I should. After f6, h6, f g5, hg, king g7, knight takes c7. Looks like I should somehow win. So probably after h6 he has to go bishop h8. Then I'll think. That's the problem. I'm not very good at like intuitively continuing those attacks. And I can't really see a breakthrough after bishop h8. Here I thought this was good for me. Because after queen takes g5, this smells very, very checkmatey, like king f7, bishop h5, or rook h7, followed by bishop h5. Well, if he can't take, then it's a bit of a double attack with knight e6 and knight takes a8. So here I have a feeling Poochie the dog is in some hot water. Even though he's a surfing dog, so he probably enjoys being in hot water. Bishop b7. Gimme. And Poochie resigns here, as I said. Fg5 doesn't work. He had to play bishop h8 when, well, it looks like I have good compensation, but I didn't see anything direct. I probably have to retreat and then try to do whatever. Bishop g4, bishop f5, g4, g5. Who knows what would have happened? Anyway, interesting game against Poochie. Yeah, are there any noobs that I can crush? Can't see any noobs, but I can see the mighty Silvo 2717. That's a lot of ratings. Silvo from Finland. And since today is Play Sidelines Day, I will now play the sideline I despise is too strong. I dislike the most. 2 knight c3, the Verisov. I always feel uneasy having that knight on c3 after d5. But after d6, e4, I occupied the center, so things can't be too bad. Silver goes g6. I don't really have a repertoire here. I recently embarrassed myself in a game against Wang Hao where I played knight f3, bishop e2, and managed to be worse with white out of the opening. This g3 system I've never looked at, but it always felt like a sensible way to play for me. You go g3, put the knight on e2 so it doesn't block the bishop. Then castle and have a look around. I had this in a Bundesliga game against Dimitri Kollas where I tried to be tricky with the move order. I think he played knight c6 and I was better after de5. c6 looks logical. I'll go a4 to fight against b5. I have a feeling there's some theory here, some knight a6 or a5. I don't really know. I'll just play the standard setup. Play h3, put the bishop on e3. You play h3, so knight g4 can't bother you. Put the bishop here, and I think g4, knight g3 is also part of the plans. So after ed4, it might make sense to take back with the bishop. Queen c7, is it already time for g4? Feels a bit early. I'll develop a bit first. Queen d2, rook d1. Or rook d1 is not clear, it really belongs there. Maybe g4 should be my next move. Who knows all these things? Let's do it. I'm slightly concerned about some d5s blowing the position open, but I have the feeling after d5, de5 I should be in alright shape, even though it's an interesting move. Maybe I should have started with f4, not g4. I have to think. Ugh. Again? Again with the making me think, Silvo? Because d5, de5, queen e5 I'm happy, then f4 and e5, and I grab all that space, but he goes bishop e6, also makes sense heading for c4. Yeah, I should go here, because now I'm really freaked out about all the d5 possibilities, and f4 looks like might be ruling those out. How do I recapture knight, bishop? Knight feels like the most natural. Not sure. M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan? I watched M. Night's last movie. I quite enjoyed it. Split. The guy with the 24 different personalities. Which is what I'm going for as well. Like, I have a feeling I'm losing it a little more by the day. So, yeah, I'm not sure I'll get all the way to 24. But like 5 personalities. Should be quite possible. Impressed how I found the cuff button there in time? I'm very proud of myself I managed to do that. As for the position, I'm not sure what's going on. I have a bit of a space advantage in the center. My king is slightly weakened though. c5 is interesting. Brazen. I'll ask this bishop where it intends to follow his criminal career. The answer seems to be a6. Maybe b3 was bad. Time to grab more space. I have a feeling I need one of my horses on d5. In the not so distant future. And maybe it's worth it for him to go knight h5. When I could still put a knight on d5, but then his knight would at least be on a good square. Well, okay, cd, hang on. gfde is no good, so I'll stick with the program. Go bishop d4, knight d7, knight d5, and see what happens. Good news is the queen doesn't have a lot of great squares. Like, he can take and go queen d8 or go queen d8, but the queen can't go to c6 or stay on the c file. And as far as I can see, queen c2 tricks also don't work, because worst case scenario, I can go knight e7, bishop g7 with check after king h8, and then pick up a piece on c2, which would make me happy enough. I know you're thinking about Silvo, but don't do it. It won't work. What are we talking about? What is more likely? Magnus to lose number 1 after Norway chess, or Magnus to be rated above 2850 after Norway chess? Where's he now? 2830 something? Both sound unlikely, no? Wesley, so in order to catch him would have to win quite some rating, or Magnus lose some makeup, whatever it is. 15 points, and 2850 he would have to lose a lot of points. So I guess it's more likely that he loses the number 1 spot, but both strike me as unlikely. Anyway, I gotta focus on Mr. Silvo here. How do I ask unpleasant questions? Because that's what I really do. I can't think of anything overly special, so I'll keep it simple. What is he thinking about? It's tempting to give a check, but I want to keep my g5 pawn protected and leave this queen d4 option for a better day. I think my position's good, because my pieces are quite close to Her Majesty, and I can start feasting on some pawns one day, hopefully. Still not clear. It's a pity I don't have access to this, what's called f1 square, which I do now. b5. My first instinct would be to play a5. I guess his idea is to play bishop b7. But then queen takes b4. Looks like I'm in charge now. I understand he's a good knight against a quote-unquote bad bishop, but I have a good pawn and active pieces, so I'm not that concerned. Slightly concerned, but not that concerned, because there's also plan B considerations here, so things are looking under control. Rook a6, gimme, no? And gimme all your pawns. What's going on now? My nose is running? I'm not supposed to have a cold. I didn't feel like I had a cold at all. It's all very confusing. h6. Do I go h4? Do I dignify this move with a reaction? Nah, you know what? Let's show off a little bit. And the only reason I'm doing this is because he's low on time, just so you know. f6 is a mistake because his rook is under attack. He had to take when I think I was winning after queen e5, rook f6, rook f1, queen d8 and whatever. But f6 does accelerate the end. Anyway, thanks for the game, Silvo. Shall we play another game? Looks like I never played our friend Jtops from Sweden, for example. Jtops. What does a J stand for? Jonathan? Jonathan Tops. He goes e4, which is a legal move. Many people like to react with the Sicilian. I'm not one of these people. What's going on? Do I lose if my phone makes sounds? Probably I do. I'm not cheating, but people are telling me stuff. And on my phone. Since nowadays you get, or I get these e-tickets on my phone, there's never like a place where you can get your baggage tag. So I put it on my phone. And I'm not sure there is any follow-up to that story. What's going on here? d4, cd, c3. You're supposed to recapture like a normal person. Play the open Sicilian. c3 is trying to transpose back to the Mora. But I can also go knight f6 when white either has to play bishop d3. Then after dc his bishop is misplaced. Or go e5. After knight takes e5. He can probably win his pawn back because there's no dc3 because of queen d8, knight f7 and all kinds of unpleasantness. But it's also committing his knight to e5 a little early. I have a feeling I've had this position like 20 years ago. Some youth Bundesliga game where I played knight bd7 and I've never looked at it since, so I'll stick to it. The point is after cd I can grab a pawn with knight e5, d, queen a5 check, followed by queen takes e5. After knight takes d7 I'll develop very quickly. So probably the best white has is queen takes d4. And then after knight e5, queen e5, e6. Look like I'm in good shape. He goes bishop b5. But I don't know, I'll keep it simple. Go a6. If he takes, either knight takes or bishop takes, I'll have a good position. And if he doesn't take, I'll have an even better position. Probably knight takes, no? I like bishops. Queen takes d4, still the best move, but I'm hoping. Knight d7, now you're not getting away for free anymore. Now I'll keep the two bishops and hopefully a weak pawn on d4 that I can target. Gotta be a little careful about knight a4, knight b6 action. Maybe it's worth throwing in a little b5, bishop b7 to fight against that. I'm aware he can go knight e4, knight c5, but after knight e4 I might try to make life a little tougher for Jtops by playing some queen d5 or whatever nonsense occurs to me. Not sure this is the height of deep chess thinking. d5, bishop d4. But I should be alright. That's all you can really ask for. Not sure at all. You could ask for much more. Especially the way the opening went, and I've slightly bungled it, to be perfectly frank. But life goes on. I think I'm still slightly better. Therefore, no reason to complain unduly, but slightly complain I will. He goes f3. I shall castle. Let's not forget, this is a weak pawn. One day, I shall have my way with this pawn. Does that sound very rapey? Probably does. Out of coffee? There's still some coffee left. In this lovely Chess24 mug. I'm not sure whose signature this is. It's a nice signature. Knight c3 back. Alright. Do I go back too? Or do I go forward? Maybe forward, no? You can play rook c1, but there's no real knight discovered jumps that bother me. So I could take on d4 or just keep developing with bishop b7. No, things are under control. Bram van Einatten is wondering if Norway chess really starts at 5 in the afternoon. By the way, that's what I read as well. I'm not sure, I haven't had it confirmed, but I've seen that it starts at 5 p.m. Which means maybe I can switch to a schedule where I can watch playoffs at night. When do the NBA games typically start? I think it's like 3 a.m. my time, and they last till 6 a.m. So I could sleep from 6 a.m. till whenever, 2 p.m. and go do the show. I'm not sure though, but I have heard that, yeah, I've read that the games start at 5 p.m. of Norway chess. Rook c1, d5. I could just take, or I could go b4. Both look pretty good. Pawn is a pawn. I'm not scared of your knight jumps, Jtops. Maybe I'll start being scared. Once he takes my queen, but I can't see how. Knight d5, queen d5. It's important. There is no typical rook c8 check tactic then. Queen e1. Yeah, what can I tell you? Back home? What do you want, Mr. Jtops? Bishop g5, I have queen c5 check. Still can't see any knight jumps that do any harm to me. So we'll just keep playing. At some point I'll probably tire thinking about knight e4 or knight a4 or knight d5 after every single move and remove my queen. But that point has not yet arrived. I guess you play queen f2 to prepare bishop g5. But now that I have bishop d4, so bishop g5 still doesn't achieve much. Knight e4, you know I'm greedy. I just can't help myself. Must take pawns. Must move bishop somewhere. Galactic raises a good point. Don't you have a daughter? How could you sleep from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m.? That is a good point. It probably won't happen since she wakes up at 7 a.m. Yeah. You're destroying my illusions there of sleeping all day. I forgot I'm a grown-up, responsible adult with a kid. Still, maybe, you know. Maybe if she wakes up at 6 a.m. and basketball is still going, I can hang out with her a little bit and then pretend to go to work when I'm really going to bed. She won't figure it out. She's only 9 months old. I can trick her. But yeah, you have a point. I'll probably stick to watching basketball in the mornings. Anyway, oh, I've been a bit slow in this game. All this talking about, I don't even know what I've been talking about. Down to 43 seconds. Mr. Jtops, you have a shot. On the, not the shot clock, but the chess clock. Must speed up. Ooh, the anxiety. Not really. Good thing this bishop controls the g7 square, so all nastiness that he's gonna attempt with rook f7 can't do me as much harm as Jtops would like it to. Still, I'm not gonna claim that I've played this particularly well. Well, he started playing much, much better, which is very unfair. Stop playing so well, Jtops. That was not part of our arrangement. I have limited time here and I still need to flag you and all that stuff. That's more like it. A lot of drama there. Had to hit the accelerate button, like in Fast and the Furious when they hit this gas button during a race and all of a sudden they're going 3 times as fast. What's it called? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for the game, Jtops. Let's play Mr. Bram van Einerten. I never played Bram. That's what it says here. Then it is high time to crush him. Rook bf7. I had some plan. Had some backrank checks. No, I think I had it covered. But still, a lot of drama there against Jtops. Good game. Maybe I've never played Bram van Einerten because he's never around when I'm trying to play him. Could that be an explanation? I don't know. There he is. Goes d4. And c4. What do I do? Let's play the Grunfeld. I feel like I haven't been very Grunfeldy recently. It's a very logical opening. You're trying to develop your bishop, create tension in the center, then eat the center. Who doesn't like to eat centers? That sounded weird again. There was not a basketball cannibalism reference. Many moves in this position. Queen c7, bishop g4, b6, knight a5. I think this is what the Svid Monster gave in his video series. Bishop g4, f3, bishop d7. And who am I to argue? The old main line here after bishop g4, f3 is knight a5, but white just has too many options. Rook b1 is not a threat yet, is it? Because after rook c8, if you go rook b7, I have knight a5, sort of forking you. So hopefully I had time for this. Even though I'm not sure rook c8 is what I'm supposed to do, now that I think about it. Because if I recall correctly, in some lines they go queen c7 here, then they meet bishop f4 with queen c8. Which obviously I can't do since I put my rook there. So now after bishop f4 I would have to go e5, which I don't want to do. Then bishop g3, and maybe the tactics work in my favor, cd, cd, knight d4, but maybe they don't. So this has been, yeah, a bit committal to put the rook on c8. Probably it's smarter to start with queen c7, leaving the option of going rook ft8. Bram goes bishop h6, also a very decent move. Bram might be outplaying me here in the early stages of this game. Goes to show you, I haven't studied my Svidler series in sufficient detail because I don't think I'm supposed to allow all this. Generally, this exchange helps white because now my king is a little weak. It's harder for me to put pressure on the center. So yeah, a lot of bad things happening. d5, I'm not sure if knight e5 or knight a5 was the way to go, but I'll enter panic mode. Hang on, will I enter panic mode? Maybe I will. Try to change the structure drastically. Bishop d3 I would expect, even though bishop b5 is a move, not sure, but I'm expecting bishop d3, then I want to go c4, bishop c2, e5, and probably suffer greatly after f4. But what's done is done. Bram van Einaten, 1616, but he's crushing me here. What's going on? Stop crushing me, Bram. I am not in the mood for a beating yet. Very dangerous after f6. Maybe I should have played f6, fe, fe, but queen g5 bothered me a little. Well, the drawback of taking with the queen on e5 is that white gets access to the d4 square. The plus side is that positionally, I was gonna say positionally I have a good position now. That sounds a little weird. And it's also not true after knight f3. Nope, I'm getting outplayed. No way to sugarcoat it. The good news is I'll probably find a way to flag my way home, as I tend to. But not very happy with the events leading up to this situation. I really need my horsey to contribute, to jump to probably d6, maybe c5, but more likely d6. ASAP. Now there's hope. Rook e1. I guess rook. Where do I want my rooks? f8 and e8? Maybe f8 and e8 is where they should be. Just one keeps an eye on f6, the other keeps an eye on e6. Yeah, things might still be more or less under control. Even though, as I said, kudos to Bram. It's not... Is that the same name like the dude from Game of Thrones, Bram? Or is he Bran? I think he's Bram, no? Like the guy with the raven in the tree. Still, he outplayed me once again. After I thought I was back in business, came up with this maneuver, queen e3, knight f3. Bringing the heat. Second time. e5 I don't like. I thought queen d4 was stronger. I might... Nah, but I don't think I'm in trouble. Might be hard to win, but in trouble I am not. I'm gonna have to evaluate if he ever goes knight c6, if it's prudent for me to take that. Like, let's say rook f7 followed by bishop takes c6, but I better be sure that I get a hold of that pawn very quickly. This endgame, his bishop is a little passive, so there are some grounds for optimism for me here. Even though it's probably still within the realms of equality. Of course, it is within the realms of Flagville for sure. But position-wise, we're not that far removed from Egalité. Is it time to bring my knight to c5? Maybe. First things first. In the endgame, I was told the king is a strong piece and should be centralized. Because I don't want him to do the same thing to me, put his king on d4. So I felt like I had to hurry up a little, bringing my own king to the action. Rook d4, many options. Rook d5 and rook c4, and he should survive, which I don't want to happen. So I'll keep the tension. I have some plans to improve my position, a6, b5, then bring the rook via the a file, rook f7, rook f1. There are options. Bishop d1, knight f5 is also a way to improve my position even more quickly. And therefore Bram resigns. Very good game by Bram van Einaten. Did not look like a 1600 player, so he's probably a strong player who just doesn't play that much blitz on this side. Thanks for the game, Mr. Bram. And I have to look up, what is the Game of Thrones kid called? Bram Game of Thrones. Ah, he's Bram, not Bram. Okay, he's Bran. Bran is 7 years old at the beginning of A Game of Thrones. He's the second son of Eddard Ned Stark and his wife Catelyn. Arya is his little brother Rickon. What happened to Rickon? Is he still around? Is he hanging out on the tree with Bran? Anyway, Game of Thrones is coming back soon, right? Isn't it supposed to come back in June? I think it is. I'll stay in Holland and play against Mr. Edwin T. Ugh, this mug always looks so dirty after drinking one coffee. Disgusting sight. For you guys, not for me. I'm used to dirt. Mr. Edwin T. What other sidelines can I play? G6, Bishop G5. I don't cover this in my series because I'm not endorsing G6. I do cover D5, Bishop G5. Things along those lines. Here, this is a playable system, nothing special after short castles. As far as I know, E4, D5 is fine for black, so white normally has to decide if he wants to play with E3 or with C3, hinting at E4. I think castle C3 is the most normal line. Of course, black can also start with D5, making it harder for white to even think about E4. Drawback is that I didn't have to commit to C3. So maybe in the distant future I can try to play C4 in one go. Not sure about it yet. What are we talking about? Bram got accused of cheating? Not by me. Like sometimes I might imply some things, but normally when I do that, I have a point. And that last game, of course, that had nothing to do with cheating. So leave poor Bram alone. He just played well. Bishop H4, C5. I'm tempted to take. I'm always tempted to grab pawns. Problem is, after knight bd7, knight b3, he has knight takes c5, and I'm not really winning material. Still, it's just too tempting. Show me the money. You can get your pawn back with queen a5, but then you have to lose a lot of time with your queen. So I'm not against that. After knight bd7, I'm gonna think about b4, just trying to keep it. Mr. Zielinka is asking, Jan, what should I do to play against you? Says, my score against you is 3-0, which means we played thrice. Is that a word? Thrice? 3 times? Well, I never played against Edwin T. I never played against Bram. Doesn't mean I'm not planning to ever play you again. I'm just saying there's a lot of people here challenging me, so it's always hard to play all of you. My apologies to those of you I don't get to play today. As for the position, queen a5, I believe is the most sensible choice. Make sure he gets his pawn back. I'm hoping to win sometime against the queen by playing b4 and then c4. But it's not exactly the end of the game. One thing that's slightly bothering me, that's why I didn't go b4 immediately, is that he can go queen c3. And it's not so easy to kick the queen out of there. I would have to lose some more time. Edwin in deep thought here. Goes knight bd7. I don't know, this b4 queen c3 still bothers me. So I'll start with c4. But I gotta be honest, I don't think I have anything here. If he just takes a bishop on g5 is slightly misplaced. And maybe my instinct to just take every pawn I can see was misguided here. dc5 is not the way to play. It's just castle. I don't know. Looks like I created a monster by reacting to Slinka. I thought we were past that point where everybody in the Chess24 chat is asking me to play. I'll play whoever I want. It won't help to ask in the chat. And yeah, I'm trying to do as many of these Banter Blitz shows as I can to get a chance to play all of you and to get a chance to play the guys that keep coming back, helping this site to stay alive. Of course, more than once as well. But yeah, I'm sorry, can't play you all. I'm sorry if you've been waiting for a long time. It's part of the game. I don't know who I'm going to choose myself. He goes queen b6. Am I messing up here? I don't really like my position very much. I missed queen b6. I was hoping I would get rook c1 with tempo and then put a knight on c6. But now I'm in some hot water. I have to play b4. But there's some problems related to knight e4, or what bothers me more, g5 followed by knight e4. After knight e4, I want to take on e7 and sacrifice the exchange one way or another. Looks like there I should get enough compensation. But if he goes g5, I'm not quite sure what I'll do. Bishop g3, knight e4, and I don't really like my position. I can play rook c1, then knight c3. Yeah, I guess I have to do that, but I don't really like it, as I might have said a couple times. He goes knight e4. Now it's sort of too tempting not to take, or is it? Bishop e7, rook e8, bishop h4, knight c3. I don't know. Nah, I might have to curb my enthusiasm once again. Sorry, this is my calculating phase. Knight c3, queen d2, knight takes, queen takes. And I'm not very happy because he has the two bishops, and yeah, I'm not better. But the game, I guess, continues. There's some weaknesses on the c-file, so things aren't horrible for me. But this hasn't gone according to plan. You should go knight c3, because if not, I'm threatening rook c8, followed by queen takes d7, or bishop takes e7. This goes g5 now. When bishop g3 would transpose to what I was talking about earlier. But I'm tempted to try to do better than that. There's some options. Queen d5 is one of them. Yeah, let's try this. I haven't really calculated all possible follow-ups. Knight f6, queen takes a8. But it looked like it should work. After gh4, I have a pleasant choice between queen e4 and queen a8, which, as far as I can tell, both work. So yeah, the move order, he probably should have gone for the good old switcheroo, not for this one. Take, or can I do better? Knight g5 also looks interesting, but nah, let's keep it simple. As usual. Not sure if knight h4 is the way to do it, but couldn't think of anything better. And once again, the dullest possible move, trying to grab more pawns. Actually, I think it's a good move, so I should not be too apologetic about it. And Edwin T resigns. Yeah, he played well, or I misplayed the opening, but that normally goes hand in hand with your opponent playing well. Here after b4, I just thought reversing the move order was a little more accurate. And rook c1, knight c3, not allowing me any of this queen c5, of these queen c5, queen d5 shenanigans that we got in the game. Here after queen d5, I thought I was in good shape. Anyway, thanks for the game, Edwin T. Evan's Gambit is asking, yeah, will you do something special for the 100th episode of Banter Blitz? Probably not. I guess I'll do the same old, same old. I never really think of anything. But who knows? I don't know. I could like be funny or say something sensible. But that sounds like so much work. Let's play Nizahe. What time is it, by the way? We still have time. He goes e4. Have I played my good old e4, e5 today yet? I have a feeling. Oh, I have. Yeah, we had this one Belgrade Gambit. This game we get the Italian knight f6, d3. I'll play h6. Bishop c5 is my main line here. But h6, intending g6, bishop g7. It's not terrible. You gotta start with h6 to rule out knight g5. Which would be devastating after immediate g6. But yeah, this is a playable line to keep a bunch of pieces on the board. White is slightly better, as he should be. But black gets a board full of pieces. b4, interesting. Very ambitious. Do I stop him and go a5? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I think I'll ignore everything and, I don't know, make some moves on the king side. I'm always paranoid about tricks against g6 in this structure, so I should probably remove my king ASAP, just to make sure they don't happen to me. Even though there's currently no threats, but whenever there's a bishop on c4, I'm very worried about things happening to my g6 pawn. Too many games have been lost to queen takes g6 or knight takes g6 tactics. Queen b3, he's trying to stop me from my cruel intentions of removing my king. And yeah, fair enough, I'm gonna have to change gears. But queen f6 is sort of part of the program anyway, to go knight f4 and then be able to recapture on f4 with the queen. So I don't mind that particularly. White should go a5, just so he can follow up with b5 without having to worry about knight a5. But I would probably meet a5 with a6, taking a timeout to make it a little harder to get in b5, not concede too much space. Then we'll see what I'll do next. Maybe knight f4, maybe king h7, maybe bishop g4. Many options. Knight a3, very subtle. Where's that knight headed? c2, e3, d5, I guess. Not a bad plan, but once it's on e3, I'll go knight e7, so might not materialize so easily. Since he can no longer go knight b2, this feels like a decent moment to go bishop g4. Question the knight on f3. He has to move it, go knight d2. Not the end of the world, but it feels a little passive. So hopefully something good will come out of all this. Rook e3. Didn't see that move, to be honest with you. But it also looks slightly artificial. So can I find some trickery? At least the rook takes this square from his own knight. And there's stuff looming. Knight h3 check. h5, bishop h6. It's a dangerous situation for white. I can't see any direct threats yet, but they might appear. h3 is sort of asking for it. Ask and you shall be given. Yeah, this is troubles for Nizahe. King f1. Many options. Could just go back, but there's no threat yet, so I don't particularly need to. Could play a move like h5, even though it's always a give and take. Would be nice to keep that square for my bishop as well, should I ever need it. Knight f4 is of course a perfectly good move. So hard to decide. I'll go h5. I'll bite. Just in order to prepare bishop h6, maybe. Overstretching Nizahe's defenses a little bit. Oh yeah, as I said. Many good moves in a good position. Not sure that's true. Sometimes you have a good position where you only have one good move. But in this position I felt like I had many good moves. Hopefully h5 was one of them. What are we talking about? Blindfold chess. Yeah, you can do that. The problem is, I think we have some blindfold plays function on chess24, but then you guys can't see the pieces. And I don't know, there must be some way to display multiple boards, but a lot of work messing up the design. So I don't know, yeah, in the past with Niklas, we've done some shows where somebody else announced the moves and so on. I don't know. Niklas, I think, is around tomorrow. He's gonna... I don't know what he's doing, but I think he's stopping by. No longer lives in Hamburg. He's studying in Berlin. Yeah, GH3, I think, given the circumstances, was a good decision, because now, as I mentioned, there's this one downside to having my bishop, having my pawn on h5. I can no longer go bishop to h5, which is not the end of the world. I would like to have that square to retreat to. I went bishop h6 without really calculating rook f3, which probably was his best chance. Queen f3, bishop takes h6. Actually, that would have been good for white. So probably shouldn't have done that. Now, however, it pays off handsomely, because queen h3 is a pretty big threat that will not be parried. Therefore, the game ends here. But bishop h6 was extremely careless here, because of rook f3. Takes, and there's nothing particular. The rook on a1 is covered. And I don't know, it might be worse here. I don't know, the game would get very complicated all of a sudden. Not really worth it, so I should have played any other move, like whatever, h4, intending bishop h5. But all is well that ends with me winning, is my life motto. Therefore, I'll be cherishing this victory. Thanks, Nizahe. Let's play against Noxerat. Noxerat? Where's Noxerat from? What's the symbol? Oh, he's an anti-cheat moderator. 2095. After knight f3, I do all kinds of things, but I have a bit of a liking for this setup, or I've developed it recently. Because it's so easy to play. You go g6, bishop g7, knight g7, castles, and then you try to do something. While I understand it weakens the d5 square, but it turns out to be not fatal in most cases. I'm not sure if white's setup is the most critical. I think setups with c4, knight c3 are a little more challenging, but still these positions are quite playable for black. And I'll pretend to be aggressive. Go for f5. One reason why you put the knight on e7, not on f6. Looks like Noxerat is not unduly concerned by my actions. Neither am I by his. So we'll just keep ignoring each other, I guess. My phone is doing things again. ef. I shall recapture. Now I have a lot of pawns in the center, which is nice. I'm gonna have to count if I'm allowed to go d5 or expand further. d5, knight e5. My current counting ability says not a good idea because he's attacking that pawn more than I have it covered, which would suggest I should go knight g6 first. Oh, is this a 3-minute game? People never warn me. 5 minutes, please. Anyway, I figured it out in time, so no particular harm done. d4, so aggressive. Does that work? e4, d5? Interesting. Could actually work. I'm confused. Dazed and confused. After e4, d5, I can't really see anything good. Slightly to my surprise. So I'm gonna try to do this, but it feels wrong, I have to admit. Yeah, I've bungled this a little bit. Bishop c4 just can't be right. It's such a nice bishop. Still, life be tough. Queen b5 bothers me a bit. So many problems, so little time. Queen c3 doesn't bother me as much. What do I take this? Nah, I guess I should just take here. I've been playing slowly. Same old 3-minute problem. It's so hard to talk and make moves in a 3-minute chess. Bishop e3, I don't know. I have a feeling I should get out of this diagonal before something bad happens to that diagonal. He takes now, but yeah, that reinforces my decision to get out the way. You know how I feel about pawns. Even though it's a bit of an ugly move to make d4. I just didn't want my d-pawn to lose his life on the battlefield. Even in the middle of the battlefield. I felt responsible for this d guy. Rook f8%. That's a strange move, to put it mildly. Because of bishop h3. Stressed. These 3-minute games are just too much stress for me. Queen b5 looks like it's losing a lot of material and therefore might slightly limit my stress. The stress of chess. Isn't that Walter Brown's book? I never met Walter Brown, but I fully understand the title of his book. And Noxerat resigns. Thanks for the game, Mr. Noxerat. Sorry for mispronouncing the name. Let's play Mr. Baby Zitter. Zitter? I don't know. Zitter? Is he from the Germanies? Then would be Zitter. No, he's from India. And it probably means something entirely different. Plays the Slav. Oh, I forgot to play a goofy sideline. Next time around. This time around, I'll do what I normally do. Like sometimes I play knight f3 and allow tc4, but more often than not, I play knight c3, e3, luring people back into my semi-Slav territory after e6, where I feel most at home. Knight bd7, bishop d3, or queen c2. And even though I never have any fresh ideas here, I've done this so often that I feel like I'm familiar with the territory. Bishop d6, can you do that? Maybe you can do that. Interesting. I thought about this move order. e4, b5, but yeah. Nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell. I'm confused. He didn't play b5. That throws me completely off my game. Looks like Zitter has seen it all before. Well, I'm already delirious. After praising myself for my experience in these positions, he plays two natural moves that I haven't seen before. I'm already completely confused. What are we talking about? I don't know. Even the chat confuses me. A6. At some point I would like to do something active. But not yet, I guess. DE 95, 95, bishop e5. Time is not ripe for f4. Or is it? Queen b6, king h1, bishop c3, bc, knight e4. Nah, nothing special. Still, I have a feeling I should do this. And gotta trust your feelings. Maybe I shouldn't trust my feelings. Queen b6, no problem. After f4 he can take, and then take on d1, and then on e4. And I don't know, I might have some compensation, but probably no more than that. Shouldn't have trusted my feelings. I don't like my position. I'm drifting here. Queen e2 is a slow, weird move after like queen d6 or queen c7. Here goes queen c7. Mr. Zitter does not forgive me for any of my sins. h3, g5 I didn't like, so king h1 looks like a decent move to make on general grounds. Bishop h2 is not a threat because of bishop f6. And yeah, I hope nothing too bad happens to me. Maybe there's some craziness with knight g4. I'll think about it when we get there. Knight g4 is interesting actually. h3, bishop c3, hg4. Bishop g4 is legal too. Guess I'm gonna have to go for this. Let's see what happens. d7. At some point I should do something active. Even though it goes against everything I believe in, I might have to make an active move. Is it good though? f4, bishop takes, bishop f6, gf. Let's find out. Not sure. I should probably also sit up. Oh, bishop g4 again. Didn't think of that, but now at least he can't take my pawn. Here takes bc. That looks kind of okay, I would guess. The critical line I thought was bishop f6, bishop f4, bishop f6, gf, queen h5. When I was hoping I would get an attack, but wasn't sure at all. Well, this, I like my position. If there's no direct tactics, but I can't spot them, then I should be in good shape with my two bishops and, you know, all my pawns. Bishop f6 looming. This looks nice for white. Now I guess I can cash in. I like cashing in. Bishop f6, not what you would want strategically necessarily, but queen g3 seemed to me like this might win a piece, which would be worth all the inconveniences. h5, h3, rook e4, bishop, let's say b3, and I can't see anything too unpleasant. Maybe bishop d3, no, bishop b3, well, same idea. Well, if he goes queen d7, then just f5 cuts him off, or h3, doesn't matter. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. Gotta remove my own bishop from the attack, but this bishop, it's pinned, it doesn't run away. Yeah, this is pretty much game over. Zitter played very well the first moves then. Yeah, I think after f4, bishop g4 was the one where he lost the threat. I should still make sure I don't get checkmated after some... That's hard to get checkmated here. I should still make sure I don't. Some queen b6, some rook check on h8. All of a sudden, murder she wrote. But I don't think that will happen. Because his own king is also a little weak. Some queen h4, queen h8. It's probably a more realistic scenario than me getting checkmated. And Zitter resigns, yeah. Mate is coming. Queen h8, king g7, queen h7, followed by queen h8. Good game by Zitter, as mentioned, after f4. No, sorry. Ah, yeah, after f4. I thought this was critical and not quite sure what's going on. Frankly, weird position. I probably have some compensation, but who's better and why? I didn't know. Anyway, let's play another chess game. Last chess game for today. What about Shumya? First game ever against Shumya. d4 e6. People are not allowing me to play all the dumb sidelines, so I shall punish by transposing to the French, which I know nothing about. Especially knight c3, I literally know nothing about. c5 strikes me as wrong. You can't go for action in the center so quickly against knight c3. Against knight d2 you can go c5. But here, this looks like it should just backfire. Or cost a pawn. Even worse. Do I just take or what? What am I supposed to do? I guess I'll just take, no? Maybe queen takes is more prudent, but even under my very, very low bar for chickenness, queen takes, I don't know, felt. Just as I was mentally trying to wrap up that sentence, I got scared after bishop e6. Didn't know what to do. I'm playing weirdly. Somehow Shumya's imprecise play on move 3 and 4 made me drop my guard. And I hope I won't pay the price for it. Might pay the price for it. b5, queen a5 check. Okay, time to focus. Let's not lose the last game. I'm talking to myself here because that would greatly upset me and spoil an otherwise perfectly nice day. b5. I probably have to go for weirdness like queen b6. Queen b6, bishop d5, queen d8, knight d8. I lose material. That's bad news. Nope, I'm in trouble. That's what you get for making all these goofy moves. So queen b6 doesn't really solve any of my problems. cb5, knight d4 also doesn't work. So I guess I just have to live with being a piece down and take it from here. Not ideal. Ideally, one should not be a piece down with white after 10 moves. But sometimes, you know, these things happen. Actually, they never happen, and they should never happen. But such is life. I'll pretend to have great compensation because of my centralized pieces. I might have to cut this game out from the final show. Nah, we don't do that. I'm joking. Maybe I'm cutting out all my losses. Still have some compensation, but I better act quickly before it all disappears. Knight g5, bishop f5 does not really help me, I would guess. Nah, I gotta develop. Very confused. Are you a strong player or a weak player, Shumya? Your first 3 moves were weak enough to make me forget all my cruel intentions. But now I'm very much with my back against the wall. Piece down here. Let us know the truth. What's going on there? f6, I guess, has to be played. Even though f6, queen g3, I don't know. There might be hope once again. Hope solo. Knight c2, very aggressive. Queen g7, rook g8 is probably not getting me to where I want to go. But the knight is a little misplaced, so rook d1, and I don't know. There's ideas. Bishop b4, bishop c3, bishop a5, bishop g5, bishop h6. Whatever. Probably still in trouble, because normally when you're pieced down you're in some amount of trouble. But mildly optimistic again. I'm also out of coffee. Queen b8, interesting. Queen g7, rook g8, whatever, queen f6. Do I get punished there? Well, I kind of am already punished. So might as well keep it up. Bishop h3, but I have moves like bishop g5, so it's not entirely clear what's going on here. I might even be in good shape now. Still, gave me a bit of a scare there, Shumya, not gonna lie. Just as I was ready to wrap up. You're taking all my pieces. Queen c7, let me think. Gh3, of course, very much comes to mind. But I'd like to do better. Rook e1, knight e1, rook e1, rook g5, knight g5. That might be better. Oh, there's rook e1, knight e1, knight e1, rook a7 maybe? Not so clear. Okay, before I lose on time, I should probably just take. That's another problem with losing all your material. You might also lose a lot of time trying to stay in the game. Generally, it's a bad idea to lose all your material. I think that's a valuable lesson we all learned today. Rook a7. I have a feeling I have to unpin. Even though the problem with unpinning this dude is after queen b7, this dude gets pinned. Exactly. So hard to win. I'll unpin this dude as well. As you keep pinning, Shumya, I'll keep unpinning. Knight d5, that's queen d8, checkmate. Knight b4, I can hopefully, I don't know. I was hoping I could do bad things to him or her. It might not be so easy. So I guess I'll have to go here. Knight bc6, rook e3. g6? Is that legal? Did not see that coming. I'm gonna check. Probably there was no particular need to see it coming, because now I'm taking all of Shumya's pieces. But wow, what a scare you gave me there. After, admittedly, since these moves are not good, c5 and cd4, I kind of, let my guard down. Didn't play queen takes d5 as you should. And here, I might already be in trouble. Hard to keep my piece. Bishop c6, bc. kind of pinned. Bishop a4, b5. I wanted queen b6, but then bishop takes d5. The queen is hanging, queen d8, and knight takes d8. Removes this knight from attack, and I'm just a piece down in the endgame. So that wouldn't be ideal. Therefore, I had to play something like this, where of course I don't have full compensation for the piece, but still some chances with the king in the center. And in the end, I survived there after being very scared. That is it for today. Yeah, I'll be back, I think, tomorrow with a show in German. Geschwätzblitz. Then, yeah, the Svit Monster, I should have stopped calling him that. Super Grandmaster Peter Svidler is gonna show up. We'll hang out on the weekend, prepare the Norway chess show. And hopefully I'll see all you guys there when we will be covering one of the strongest tournaments of the year here from our Hamburg studios, a premium-only show. So if you haven't gone premium on Chess24 yet, this is a great opportunity. Because not only can you watch 7 rounds of Peter Svidler commentary, he leaves me for the last 2. You can also check out my new video series that gives you a repertoire against all the goofy sidelines after d4, knight f6, Trompowsky, London system, all that nonsense. And as you've seen from that last game, I am a high-quality chess player. I almost made it till move 10 without blundering a piece. So there's a lot you can learn from me. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next show. Bye.